Hi Erin, welcome to your first flute lesson.
Hi.
So we're going to go ahead and open up our flute cases and check out our flutes. So this is your shiny brand new flute, and we're just going to go over the parts of the flute. So this is the head joint, and this is all that we're going to be playing on today. But as you can see, this is where you play the flute, and this is the top of the flute, the head joint. This right here is called the body of the flute, and you know, it has the most keys, and you never want to grab it like this or anything. You just want to make sure you're always grabbing where there aren't any keys or rods. So this is called the body. And then this is called the foot joint. So, you know, it doesn't have as many keys and it's pretty small. But so we have head, body, foot joint. So today, all we're going to be playing on is the head joint, but first we're going to do a little exercise. Okay, have you ever had some big, juicy watermelon, like in the summer?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like watermelon?
I do.
Okay, have you ever had a seed spitting contest to see who could get your seeds the furthest?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you can imagine, we're going to have a seed spitting contest, okay? So you're going to aim and you're going to try and hit my nose right here. So just practice your spitting it. You know, we don't want to like stick our tongues out or anything, but you know, kind of like if you can just imagine that you have it right there and you're just trying to get as far as you can. So try that. You gotta use a lot of air. You can put your hands right here and you feel your stomach move. Go. Yeah, do you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of air that we're going to be using. So just it's a lot more air than you would think, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would think it would be, you know, slow and things like that, but it's a lot of forceful air. So just keep that in mind. We're gonna go ahead and just grab our head joint. We're just gonna talk about it for a minute. So yeah, perfect. The way you're holding it is exactly right. You know, we're not gonna grab it or anything like that. It's just very gentle hold, we just want to make sure that whenever we're playing the flute, you always want to stand up, or if you are sitting down to practice, you want to make sure that you're straight up and you're not hunching over to lean into the flute or something. You know, you always want to make sure you're bringing it up to you and not, you know, coming down to it. So we're just gonna talk about our embouchure, which is how our lips are going to be. And how we're gonna make sound on the flute. So like I said, our air, we're kind of directing it out straight. So you were trying to hit my nose. You weren't, you know, trying to hit my belly button or anything. Because the idea is that our air is going to go, that you can make it straight. Like, how about you hold your hand out in front of you and then try blowing some air again. Do you feel that on your hand?
Mm-hmm.
Not down here, but up on your fingers. Try again. That's right. So whenever we bring the flute up to our lips, we're not going to direct the air into the hole. Actually, half of the air is going to hit this back side over here and go in, and half of it is going to go straight across. And that's how we get our tone. So I'm going to demonstrate for you and kind of show you what I want you to do. So, you know, we want to make sure that the hole is centered under your lip, and that it's facing straight up and not rolled in all the way or rolled out. But you kind of have to play with it and find your sweet spot, you know. But we're not going to say like poo and not have a puckered lips. It's more like a, and you let your lips just relax. So you'll, you know, kind of have a flat bottom lip and you go. And I was literally just saying. So why don't we try that? Why don't we play around with that? So see if you can place it on there. Yeah, give it a shot. Yeah, roll in a little bit. Yeah. Try it, flatten out your lip a little bit more, and your corners of your mouth are kind of going. You want your corners to stay very relaxed, almost if they're going back or even down a little. So yeah, try again. Yeah, I kind of heard it at the beginning. Try just more air. Yeah, a little bit. Let's bring it down some so you're not completely on your lip. That was better, yeah. Try again. Good. Try and hit my hand. That's good, that's good. How about roll in just a little bit? We want to make sure that just a little bit of the hole is covered with our lips. Otherwise, all the air is going to go straight across the hole instead of halfway in. So roll in just a little bit like that. Try that. Better, yeah. So do you see how we're saying, you can kind of feel that? So, see if you can sustain it. Yeah. Let's center it just a little bit more and then a little bit down. Yeah, there you go. Good. Just use a lot of air. So we're just going to try. I'll do one and then you do one, okay? So. Good. Roll in just a little bit. You got to remind yourself. Good. That's the best I've heard. Yeah, try again. Good, good. Okay, so something else we can do is, we have this open end down here. You can close it and it makes a lower pitch. So why don't you try that? Play around with that. Yeah, which one seems easier?
The lower one?
Yeah, it always does. I think it's just because it's slower air, it feels that way. It doesn't feel like we're having to use as much air. So the lower it tends to be easier. Try again. Perfect. It sounds like when you're blowing across the top of a bottle, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we're just gonna see if you can go back and forth from the bottom note to the top note, because sometimes it is hard, at least for me it was hard to be able to do that back and forth. Usually my bottom note would come out fine and then the top note is a little bit more difficult. So why don't we get in your place and see? Good, okay, so just repeat after me. Roll in just a little. There. Yeah, good. I think, there we go. You rolled in just a little bit too much, covering a little bit too much of the hole. Good. Let's see. Good. So you kind of feel like you have the hang of it a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Does it feel kind of good? You can take it. You can relax. So you kind of feel like you have the hand of, the hang of that at least. And you're starting to get a good tone, especially on the higher one. And I think your air is directing. I can feel it over here. So another cool games that we can play on the head joint kind of involve like this sliding with your finger. So I'll kind of demonstrate. You can, here. It's kind of like a sliding effect. So why don't you try that out? Just, play around with that. Yeah. Here, roll it in just a little. There you go. Try again. Yeah, we're here. Roll that in a little. Try that last one more time. Yeah. So that's, kind of something neat that you can just play without any keys. You can make different pitches. You can play, Mary Had a Little Lamb or Hot Cross Buns, all just depending on how far you stick your finger in the end of the flute or the head joint. So, yeah, those are kind of neat. But for your assignment for next week, I want you to create your own head joint games. So kind of like we did with the high and the low, you know. And I want you to come up with your own. And so next week, you will lead them and I'll, you know, repeat after you. So they can be simple, and how about you come up with just five little different rhythms. And then just make sure you are practicing every day, and you can stand in front of a mirror and make, you know, kind of see how you're doing with your embouchure and making sure that your hole is facing the ceiling and, you know, a little bit turned in, but, you know, not all the way. Just really check and make sure that you're doing good, and then just practice getting your tone every day. I think it'll just help, even if you can, you know, just do it for 20 minutes a day or something. So that's for next week. Practice on, you know, your embouchure and just making your pitches, and then 5 rhythms, like we did.
Do I need to do slide ones too, or just the?
Yeah, you could do, how about you do just 2 different slide ones. So 5 like this and 2 slide ones. So yeah, there you go. We're going to go ahead and put it down, and we're going to talk about how to clean it. So you can go ahead and get this little cloth off. We don't really want to use any old like washcloth or anything, you know, that would be too big and rough. So this is very small and silky like. And then you can go ahead and get out this cleaning rod. And it has kind of like an eye, like a needle at the top. And you can, you know, thread the cloth through there. And then pull that through, and then we want to cover up the head of it. You don't want to stick this plastic. So just cover that up and just kind of, you know, wrap it all up. Make sure it's all good. And then get your head joint. And you're just going to stick it in there and twist it around. You'll be surprised how much spit has actually accumulated in here just from, you know, 20 minutes of practice or anything. And so it's good to do this after you practice every time, because moisture is not good for the inside of your flute. There's actually a cork up here at the top, and it's not good for it to get wet. So you always need to make sure that you're cleaning it out. So yeah, you can pull it out. But definitely make sure you clean the inside of the flute, the head joint is what I mean, after you play every single time. So do you have any questions or things?
How do you like put the flute together?
Oh yeah, I can show you with that. So, you know, like I said, what is this called? Do you remember?
The head joint.
Yes, and then do you remember what this was called?
The body.
Yes. So you get the head joint and the body, and actually there's fingernail polish on this. And so you'll just stick that in here gently, and you just go down to the line, and you just line it up for this one. And we're not going to push it all the way in. It's for tuning reasons. It sounds best when it's not, you know, shoved all the way in there. And then to put on, do you remember what this piece is called?
The foot joint?
The foot joint, exactly. So if you can see this rod right here, we're going to line it up, not with that rod, but in the center of this key. So that's kind of how it is. And, you know, it's a lot bigger than you would think, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very long. And it's a little awkward at first, you know, to play things, but...
Does it matter which side you play it on? Like whether you play it on your right side or your left side?
Well, you can't make a tone on if you play it the opposite way. It'd be kind of playing backwards. Like if you had a guitar and you played it backwards, it's just not how it is. I'm not sure. I've never heard of any flutes being like opposite way. I'm pretty sure they're all this way. So whether you're right-handed or left-handed, I guess it doesn't really matter. They're all going to face towards your right. But so yeah, that's kind of how it goes, and it's a little different that. But yeah, so soon enough you'll be on the whole flute and not just the head joint. But it's good just to start out your tone and your, you know, trying to improve your sound.
What do you mean when you say tone?
I mean, like, you know, you kind of could tell at first you weren't really hearing a sound, like a pitch. It was kind of more just air. So it's trying to get less air and more of the sound, the actual tone. So it's just more clarity and it's a purer sound instead of so much air. It takes practice, and it's just like, singing. You're a singer, and so, you don't want to be breathy. You want to get more straight to the tone. So, or the pitch, the exact note. So, yeah. Any other questions that you have?
I think that's all.
You think that's it? Okay, so just we'll remember our assignment, and you had a really great first lesson.
Thank you.